Hey guys, it's Kate Journey, and I am back this morning, early morning again, to finish our conversation about plotting from books down to seasons, and then from seasons to episodes, and then episodes down into scenes for writing serialized fiction. This is the system that I came up with for myself. If you're interested in figuring out how I went from books to seasons to episodes, I'll link that in below, and I'll have it in the cards and whatnot. But anyway, so this, if you watched that video already, this should look familiar. This is what a season looks like. Half of a book. So it goes basically, actually, I'll do a little bit of an explanation. If you watched last week's video, this should be old hat, but if you're new, so I took, basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to write a serialized episodic fiction. I had a really cool idea for one that turned out to be 12 seasons long that I'm really excited and I've been working on. Anyway, I had to come up with a whole system for myself. So I did. So I was like, okay, well, what do I want this to look like? And so I was like, okay, well, I want to turn it into a book, right? Eventually the goal is to have this whole series in a series of books. But I wanted the book to turn into 2 seasons. And each season, once I kind of figured it out and played around with how I wanted things, each season is 20 scenes. And I figured out, based on a whole bunch of different plotting styles, that each season needs to have certain plot points as a season. And this is the list of plot points, seasonal plot points. And if you want more on that, it is in that other video, like I said. And this video is about taking this idea and breaking it down into how I would do this as an episode. There are 10 scenes in each episode. The first one is the opening. The second one is introducing the conflict. The third one is trying to fix it and it gets worse. The fourth, bad guy flexes and hero struggle. Number 5 is a midpoint, which is there's a bunch of character growth here, and then the season kind of flips on its head and changes trajectory. Number 6 is the bad guy brings even bigger threat. Number 7 is the worst thing possible happens. Number 8 is the strength within. Number 9 is the climax. And number 10 is the resolution and cliffhanger. Now, these don't necessarily have to be separate scenes, but they are major plot points. So mathematically, they each get about 500 words to create a 5,000 word episode. I'm thinking what I want to do in order to choose a season is to just roll the dice. Now, that being said, these side quest ones that I'm highlighting poorly, these are separate. This is a separate story. So I just kind of go through this process, treating it like it's its own separate thing. And I'm not worried about these plot points fitting into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this very convenient D20 that I've got over here. And I am going to roll and hope I don't get a side quest. And if I do, I'm just going to roll again. Okay, so we got 16. So 16 is betrayal or salvation. So this is how I'm doing this, and I don't know if this is going to work for all of them. This is me experimenting and sharing it with you guys while I do it. I am currently writing episode 4. I should be in the middle of episode 5, but I got dragged back into the second book club book, which I'm actually really happy about, but anyway. Okay, so we are looking at episode 16, betrayal or salvation. Okay, so how I would do this is, since this is a plot point for the major series, the whole thing would be setting up and introducing how this betrayal or salvation would come about. So when we get down to like this worst thing that possibly happens, this is going to be that betrayal. Or alternately, part of this midpoint and the strength within would be how, the balance of salvation. So maybe they're saved here and that's part of their character growth, or they can be saved here. And it's like there's a buildup from within the season to this big old situation here. So let's say I've created these relationships and we're building these situations out all the way up until this point. And to this point, right before the worst possible thing that happens, when there's this twist right here that is a betrayal or a salvation, this whole episode would be a conglomeration of all of the things that led throughout the season to this, if that makes sense. So this betrayal would be a major one. This couldn't be minor. It has to be a major betrayal. Now, if I was writing, let's say I was doing number 10, the midpoint, the main part of this episode would be this midpoint right here. So if that makes sense, like the emphasized part. So the whole episode is about this part, and it's about the buildup and the release from. So like, if I were to do the midpoint, let's pretend I did the midpoint. It would be, this whole thing would be the build up to a major character growth for my main characters. And then it would be what happens, like how the story completely changes from there on out. But because we're talking about betrayal or salvation, we're having this buildup of like this trust and having it, it's been shown throughout the season. But somewhere in here, my character needs to be like, okay, I trust this person deeply. And oh no, they've betrayed me. Or I trusted and I need to be saved. Like somehow something happens and they need to be saved. And unexpectedly, someone that they weren't expecting to save them, someone that they didn't trust, came in and rescued them from the situation. Either gave them the help that they needed or had a twist where they were somebody that they weren't presenting. So there has to be a major twist. In this episode, it is basically a huge twist in the story. But the thing is with twists, especially twists that are this big, that it's like a giant, its own plot point, it needs to be almost like the way that climactic scenes are in books. This needs to be the perfect blend of inevitable and unexpected. So there needs to be hints throughout the series that this person, like let's say that they betray them. So throughout the series, there has to be hints that this person might not be trustworthy, but there also has to be proof that this person is trustworthy. And so when they betray them, it feels like a gut wrench to the audience and to my characters, because they're like, I didn't expect it, but they should have, because they've seen other little moments where this person was not trustworthy. Or alternately, with a salvation, the person who comes in and saves them needs to have these big moments where they're somebody that they shouldn't trust, somebody that they can't trust, somebody that doesn't seem to have their best interest at heart, but we see like these little moments throughout the story where they have integrity or where they care for somebody, and it's unexpected, but at the same time, like almost inevitable. It needs to have that same feeling of unexpected and inevitable. So if I'm going through each of these plot points and I'm breaking it down, so like if I were to do the opening, this whole thing would be about bringing in characters and situations. In fact, the episode that I wrote about this is my favorite episode that I've written so far, because it brings in all of these things and it's world building on top of introducing these characters, and it's a really cool. I love that one. I might actually read the first scene of this first episode on the channel before I launch. I haven't decided yet, but I'm really, really excited about it. But if I were doing this one, it would be, the whole thing would be about introducing new things and building tension and building the setup for the rest of the season. So let's say we're doing number 5, right? So we've tried to fix the situation and we've come to a cliffhanger on number 3 of like, okay, we were at a bad part of the situation, like it's gotten worse and we're kind of screwed at the end of this episode. And that kind of dips off into the side quest here to kind of move readers and my audience over to this side story and leave this tension in place, right? There's leftover tension that's there intentionally. Tension and intentionally. I'm funny. But that's left there on purpose. And so then we jump into the side quest, which is relevant to this, right? All of my side quests are relevant to the other things. So that's actually something I should probably talk about here. So each of these side quests is a separate story that's weaving into and out of my main story. So they have to be relevant to the main story and what's happening in the main story. So there are major reveals in this episode that completely change this main story. And it's going to happen here and here and here and here, where there's things that happen that completely change certain aspects of this main storyline to the point where you're like, whoa, Because if it's just side quests that have like no reason to be there, then they don't need to be there, right? But for me, my side quests are like plot twists within plot twists, if that makes sense. So it's like we've set up the situation here in these first 3 episodes, and then we get to, this is why episode 4 is taking me longer than I expected, actually, because episode 4 is taking all of this build up and going, by the way, turn this way, and then we're gonna get through these 2, and then it's gonna go, by the way, turn that way. So anyway, I'm excited about it, but it's going to be a lot. Anyway, yeah, that's all I've got this morning. I am going to go have my first cup of coffee, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will be back next week. I don't remember what with.